everyone, Atharva here. So today's conversation is about how tiny habits or actions give you massive difference or impact in your life. So whatever I'm talking, it's derived from a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. I have read the book completely for more than three times, I guess. Made some notes, some quotes have been listed, and I'm going to share some idea, a part of idea, or the main core of the book here, right here. So, how tiny habits or actions give you the massive results. So, most of the time, people just confuse that to gain something difficult in life or to gain something massive in life, you need to take the hard steps, you need to take big steps. But they made a huge mistake over here. They didn't need to make that massive steps to get massive successes. Instead, they need to take small steps consistently, on a consistent basis to gain the results. And eventually, the small improvements will compound and give you the desired result. That's why most people just fall into the trap. They think that, yeah, I need to get muscle six pack abs or I want to be a reader. So just they took up the book, just force themselves to sit down and read a book completely in a week, and later they just lose their habit because it's a lot of pain in the beginning. But instead, if you started small, read 2 pages a day, 5 pages a day consistently, you will eventually love doing it and you will create an attraction that would bring you the habit of reading. Now take the example of making body. Most people just will hit the gym like New Year resolutions. Most people make like on the 1st of Jan the gym is full. People just desire to make good body, muscles. But what happened after a week later? The gym is empty, I guess, with a few people who are on consistent basis. What is the difference between a consistent people and a person who had made the mistake of doing or taking huge steps towards achieving it? Is that they fall into the trap of delayed gratification. When you put a lot of effort but you don't get the results immediately, you just lose the hope that you will get the result afterwards. So, like doing a lot of reading, a lot of memory work, a lot of stress is put on your brain. So, your brain just thinks of getting a reward like I'm going to grasp a lot of knowledge of the book. I'm going to go to a webinar or a podcast and share my knowledge, but that doesn't happen. It happens slowly. If you read one book in a month, I guess, then keep that habit and eventually you will read a book a week. So that's how a habit is created. People fall into the trap of delayed gratification. Put a lot of hard work, don't get the result, lose the hope, and back to your old habits or old routine. Whereas doing 1% improvement a day would eventually what would eventually compound. Like, you have heard of compound interest. Similarly, when you improve 1% a day, the next day you are not improving 1% on the baseline. Instead, you are compounding on top of that 1% you develop the last day. So it is a continuous process that eventually builds your better self. Build habit and on a constant basis, 1% improvement, and just stick to it. You will get in the result. But 1% is also a two-sided sword. Improving 1% is good on a daily basis, but if you degrade 1% a day, it would also bring you the bad version of yourself. The bad habits that you have right now will compound day by day, will eventually compound into a much bigger result, will result you into bad health, bad mental status, or bad overall body, or you start feeling ashamed of yourself because you have that habit. But you didn't understand at the beginning. It started with a 1% degradation a day. then it compounded, and then it resulted in your now your now behavior or your now self. Habits are compound interest of self improvement, as told by James Clear. Habits are the compound interest of self improvement. You can improve yourself by compounding the habits every day, day by day, and to get your own self. If good habits can compound to give you good results, bad habits too compound to give you the bad results. So make 1% improvement your goal. Don't start a habit very largely. Make it easy to do at the beginning, as described in Atomic Habits by James Clear. His four rules for creating a habit. Make it easy. Do it easily. Create a baseline of 1% improvement a day, and you eventually will get the results. Same for bad habits. You just break that chain of 1% degradation or 1% bad habit a day, and you will see the results. Good habits make time your ally, and bad habits make time your enemy. Make good habits your friend, and with time you will see the result. If you develop a 1% improvement with your good habits, the time would be a friend for you. The time would bring the results for you, whatever the cost. But if you make the bad habits your friend, you create time your ally, your enemy. Sorry, your enemy. The time would cost a lot much from your bad habits, and it would eventually destroy you. So that's it for today, I guess. You must read The Atomic Habits by James Clear. It's a very good book. Those were the some points I just noted today and wanted to share to you. So, thank you.